So I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. I'm not someone that's usually into the horror genre unless the story is very compelling. I don't really enjoy being scared a lot of the time. I even have a fear of roller coasters, really. But when there is a good horror game, it just hits different. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about. This game in particular caught my attention, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. Now it's on the Switch, and I really want to talk about it with you guys because I really want you guys to play this game. The game I'm talking about today is The Witch's House, specifically the MV version that's on the Nintendo Switch. The original version was on PC and Mac, and that version was good, right? That's the version that got me into the game. That was the version that really got me invested into everything. However, there were some faults with that version. One, it was that it was made in a very old engine of RPG Maker. If you guys don't know what RPG Maker is, it's kind of like an easy way to make an RPG game. And usually the engine is notorious for giving out a lot of crap, right? A lot of shitty products, but there are some definite gems in that genre of like RPG games. I know there are some people that are gonna argue with me about this, but for me, The Witch's House is kind of like my favorite RPG Maker game that I've ever really played. The main difference between the two versions of the game is that there are added story elements in this version if you play the hard mode. There are improved graphics, and of course they're gonna add some more horror elements that I had to kind of like go through. Shit! Oh, motherfucker. Ugh. Trust me when I say it is one of the scariest games you will ever play. It doesn't hold your hand a lot of the time, which is something I really enjoy, especially with modern games trying to like hold your hand every step of the way. This game starts with like maybe a 10-20 second tutorial in the very beginning. From there, you're figuring shit out on your own just based on that very short tutorial. Now, the game isn't complicated, so it would be weird if the tutorial was longer than that. It's mostly just solving puzzles, so it's an RPG in the sense that you're like role-playing a character in a game, but it's not your traditional like RPG, JRPG in the gaming sense where you're fighting things and leveling up. It's simply just role-playing, like essentially what the genre is made for. It's a role-playing game that happens to have horror elements and puzzles. Now you're probably thinking like, what makes this horror game so great that even someone that doesn't like the horror genre like me, at least not to the extent that other people do, like why this game? Why does this game appeal to you? Well, for a few reasons. One, it's short, and for some people that's a con. They want like 60-hour horror games, but for me, the main appeal of a horror game is that it keeps you on your toes and keeps you scared. If I'm playing the horror game for 60 hours, I don't see myself getting scared. I feel like I'm gonna figure out everything that's gonna happen and when it happens after like maybe 10 hours. You can literally beat The Witch's House in like 2 hours if it's your first time, if you know what you're doing, 1 hour, and if you're doing the hard mode, maybe 3 to 4 hours. If you want to replay this game, it's so easy to replay. And also, to be perfectly honest with you guys, I enjoy that it's short because I'm an adult now and I have more adult responsibilities and I don't have as much time as I used to. So playing something short like this every now and then, I'll pay 15 bucks, especially because I do think that the story is pretty incredible. I love the things that the author does with the character and the setting. So I don't want to spoil a lot of that for you because I genuinely do think that this story is pretty well done. It's very tightly knit together and it serves very well with the setting, and the characters actually make a lot of sense. There's a lot of hints early on in the game that kind of tease things that are going to happen later on in the game, which I very much like and enjoy. So without getting too much into the story, just know that I think the story is excellent. I think the characters are very well done. Really quick regarding the puzzles and the music. The puzzles are really fun. It does have some kind of annoying elements sometimes where you do have to go to the menu to try to interact with items. Honestly, once you get used to it, it's not that big of a deal. And in fact, they kind of utilize it sometimes in some smarmy ways, and I kind of enjoy that. And if I can also talk about like the environments and the graphics, they are much improved compared to like the old version of this game, where this version feels like they created some assets for it from scratch. Specifically the main character Viola, they completely, I wouldn't say re-engineered her, but they kind of like made her look more unique than say her original counterpart. Finally, I do want to talk about the music. The music in this game, this is the kind of horror music I genuinely love. I know that it sounds weird, but I also really love the way that they utilize the guitar. But there's something about the music having like a very like thought out quality to it, almost like improv, like a haunted improv jazz. That's the best way I can describe it. But not quite jazzy, more towards the haunted side, but jazzy in the sense that it's a little bit unpredictable at times. I really think you're gonna enjoy this game. I would really give it a shot. Some people think $15 is really expensive for this experience, but for me personally, I would spend even $20 for this game, really, just because I enjoyed the story that much. The gameplay, the puzzles are fun. I find it to be really replayable. And honestly, if you're gonna spend 10-15 bucks on a scary movie, why not scare yourself and have a genuinely good story with your Nintendo Switch for 15 bucks, right? I would rather pay 15 bucks for a great experience than 5 bucks for something I'm like, well, this shit sucks, I'm never gonna play it again, right? I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really had fun talking about this game, and I am gonna be more consistent going forward. Thank you for staying with me. I had a lot of shit going on last month that I really needed to take care of, so I appreciate your patience here. That being said, talk to you guys later. See you soon.